And we're live. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Thank you for coming over to the DFS 5-pack as we break down the slate for the Thursday night, the 25th of February. I do have some entertaining basketball games to watch this evening, including my Milwaukee Bucks taking on Zion and the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, a couple good games tonight, a couple good DFS games. Excited to break it down with you.
Well, let's get after it, my friend, and we'll see where we're going to go from here, including those New York Knicks guards, as you can take a look by the cover today, and we'll get into him momentarily. But like every other Thursday, today's show is brought to you by our good friends at Drafters. I don't know how many times we can say it, guys. This website's a blast to play on. We do daily drafts with a bunch of our customers. We'll do another one today. We'll put this bad boy out in video for you. If you're looking for a different way to get some exposure into the world of DFS, the drafts are fun. You can play head-to-head. You can play in the GPPs. We do a bunch of these, usually like 6, 7, 8-player drafts where you can decide how deep you want to go based on how deep the slate is that day. I just have a blast playing over there, and I would highly encourage everybody to give it a whirl. If you want to use our promo code DFS5pack, it's appreciated. But if you haven't tried playing it yet, it's fun.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. We've been doing it basically every day, and I'm hoping to get one today.
Oh, we'll definitely do one again today. And I think the big thing that I talked about the other day, why I like it, is, a perfect example was a contest I played in the other day where you don't have the same players as everybody. There's no crossover. You have them. So, like, I'm sitting on there cheering on my boy Giannis against the Kings because I'm the only one that has him. He hits a couple of late free throws that puts me up into the money. But, like, when I have Giannis, nobody else has him. And that's what I really, really enjoy. You know exactly who you're rooting for.
No doubt about that.
All right, guys, we're going to continue the monthly promotion. Buy a new monthly membership today. Get a $20 rebate on month one. You're all set, ready for month two, where we're going to be doing double sports here in about a month. Can't wait for that. The Discord channel is up for monthly customers. Day passes are still available. Subscribe to the station if you're new to it, and we always appreciate the thumbs up. So, speaking of my Milwaukee Bucks, cash lock of the day, Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'll go to the last bullet point. This guy's smashing more than Ron Jeremy right now. I don't know what's not to like right here. Holiday has not been officially ruled out. Not saying that would take Giannis out of play, but on a day where there's plenty of good, big money players, that might lower him on my necessity chart a little bit. But as it stands right now, he is a necessity for me. Holiday is doubtful, so we'll take them at their word that he is doubtful. This is a revenge game for a Bucks team that lost pretty handily to the New Orleans Pelicans a while back. Bledsoe, Hart, and Lonzo Ball all had career three-point shooting games that night, rolled on Milwaukee. National TV game here, looking to right the wrong. I firmly expect him to roll into 60-plus again.
Yeah, it's hard not to lock in Giannis in every format here. Do have a little bit of blowout concerns in this game, but that's kind of all over the place in the NBA now. And he's just absolutely balling at the moment. You mentioned it, smashing more than Ron Jeremy. It's true. Man, it is tough to get away from him in any format. I'll tell you that much.
It'd be nice if they would bump up his price to 12.5 right now so you didn't feel like you had to play him, because as much as it's not that big deal to have one big chalk guy like this, but when he's chalk at 11K, which basically means now we're all running on like a $39,000 salary cap, it just limits your abilities to be different. I'm sure you can make some cases for some of the other studs, but it's tough to get away from him, and that's almost kind of annoying. I want them to raise the prices on the studs so that like guys like me and you who like the mid-tier can actually use it more often.
For sure.
So raise the prices on all the studs. Harden needs to be 12K. Giannis should be 12K. Jokic should be 12K. Guys make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So next up, another stud, Nikola Vucevic, who, a month ago it was hard to spend 10K on him, but the way this game is working out and the way he's playing, he kind of warrants the price tag these days.
He warrants the price tag. I don't think he gets much love at all here, as you mentioned, a slate loaded with studs. This game kind of reminds me of the New Orleans game and the Denver game, which we'll talk a little bit about. All games that have massive upside, blowout risk is real. If Orlando can stay in this game, I have a hard time seeing Vooch not just absolutely crushing here. He went for 69.5 DK points in the last matchup against this Nets team. Same spot. It was about a month ago. Listen, I think his ownership is really low. I wouldn't call him like a must play because of the spot, because like I mentioned, there are other really good studs on this slate. Giannis, James Harden, Jokic. But because of that, I think he gets left behind. And I really like his upside in this spot. Never in a million years did I think I'd be hyping Vooch at 10K over some of the other guys on this slate. But the more I look at this slate, the more I like him. I think he comes under-owned. I think there's a lot of leverage using him here. I'm all about it.
He's actually projected for high ownership, and I don't buy it for a second. I don't think in a million years is he going to be 30 or 40% owned. I don't buy it for him at all. I think he'll be 10 to 20% owned.
Same.
So I again, Giannis will be higher owned. Jokic will be higher owned. I think even Harden, even though it's hard to get to the guard spots today, will be higher owned than Vucevic. And you can only play so many studs. So, maybe I'm wrong. I've definitely been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. But I don't think he's going to be very popular.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
All right, next up. So the only thing that's going to actually create some ownership for him today is the fact that there's some really good cheap guards. I'll say potentially, but almost for sure, because Alf is listed as doubtful, on the New York Knicks, who are in a great spot today at home against the Sacramento Kings. So we're talking quickly. I think most of you guys at this point know who the cheap guards are from the New York Knicks that you should be targeting. Sacramento's a good matchup. I like this quickly kid. He doesn't always get the run that we think he should be getting, but his run today is significantly more likely, knowing that Elfrid Payton is unlikely to play today. And how owned he is will also depend on if he starts or not. So he's going to get good love no matter what. But how overwhelmingly chalky he is will depend whether or not he's a starter or if it's Derrick Rose. I think they both get plenty of love, but how chalky, like 90% or 70%, will kind of depend if he's starting or not.
No doubt about it. I think you said it best on the members only video. And when you just said it there, like if he's starting, expect him to be like 80+% in all formats. If he's not starting, somewhere between 50 and 60, which is still really high owned, but think about the difference there. So I like him either way. More of a tournament, sneaky play. Not really sneaky, but, under-owned, I guess, if he's coming off the bench. But you feel better about him if he's starting. It's a great spot, man. A ton to like about quickly here. A guy that we both like, and he's good. And if you told me, like, quickly was going to get, like, 30 minutes in any spot, I mean, he'd be a lock for me in any spot at this price point.
Yeah, and this is kind of like when we talked about the San Antonio guys yesterday. One of the things I liked about DeJounte Murray a lot yesterday was simply the fact that they weren't playing like a really good basketball team. We kind of flirted with the idea that maybe the Spurs struggle a little bit. Well, if they'd been in LA playing the Clippers, I would have struggled to look at some of their secondary pieces a little bit more, or maybe not like Murray as much. Like when we look at quickly and maybe like a Derrick Rose today, like they're playing the Kings at home. I don't really worry about them not playing well in this position. It could happen, but like anything can happen. Like quickly can get gobbled up by a pterodactyl when he steps out in the court, but I'm not going to make the bet that that's the realistic way we're going.
Amen.
All right, let's move over to long shots for the day. Let's talk about Jamal Murray. And again, I want to reiterate, long shots can mean a variety of things. Jamal Murray is not a long shot to play well. He is an excellent basketball player, a very, very good basketball player who's playing well right now. Where he falls into a long shot is based on his ownership. Between the New York Knicks guards, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and a few others, Jamal Murray is going to get left behind like used trash right here. Nobody's going to play him. He's currently projected for low single-digit ownership, and that seems right to me. I would expect him to be under 5% owned today because when you look at Jamal Murray, this isn't the playoffs. You don't expect people to want to spend 8-4 on him, and I completely understand why nobody wants to spend this money for him. However, without Gary Harris, without Paul Millsap, etc., this dude is balling right now. He's got 45+ in 5 straight games, including 2 games where he scored over 60 DK points. One of them coming in Washington against the same Wizards team, hit a hell of a tie game, to tie the game with a 3-pointer, like 8 feet beyond the arc, only to have Bradley Beal spoil the plans for the Denver Nuggets on this game. I think Murray balls again right here, and I think that you have every potential of getting him well into the low single digits today. And I don't see any reason he can't keep this hot streak going. And if he gets back to shooting, because he didn't shoot that great last game, like if he shoots well here, he could easily drop another 50 spot on a team in the Wizards that we pick on all the time. I like this idea in tournaments. I wouldn't put him in my cash game, but at very, very low ownership, I like this game a lot. So Murray is a guy that I'm going to consider playing once.
I get that, man. Loved him in this spot last week. Absolutely crushed. crushed at this price point. So while people have the sticker shock and won't want to pay him here, if this game stays close, there's no reason he couldn't walk into 50 plus again. He's playing really well right now. He's good. He looks like Bubble Murray right now. And if you're telling me you're going to give me Bubble Murray, yeah, he's in play at any price.
I like that, Bubble Murray, because when he was 10K last year, and I swear to God, he was a hard recommend like every day for what felt like months in a row because of the way he was playing. There was still some sticker shock, but he's a guy that often doesn't mind deferring, like during the regular season, letting Jokic kind of be the main guy, letting Will Barton and Michael Porter Jr. and Paul Millsap all kind of take turns. But he's fully capable of being a 10K guy. He has the talent and the ability to play. He just doesn't, he's got Jokic, who's the best passing big man that we've probably ever seen. So he doesn't mind being the second banana until like he's really, really needed. Well, occasionally he just gets hot like he is right now. And he just takes over games. Denver needs wins too. I think they are currently sitting at the 7 seed. So like it's kind of like it's time to stop deferring and just start taking over because they need to get some dubs. I think we both agree they'll be in the playoffs at the end of the year, but you can't mess around anymore. You got to take some of these games over and win.
Yeah, this is definitely a game they're looking at like they got to win, coming off a nice win against Portland. Good spot for Murray to show upside, no doubt.
And another point you've mentioned with the Nuggets a few times, their defense is not as good this year, which means they need more offense.
For shizzle.
All right, next up, Justice Winslow, another guy we talked about recently. He is not projected to be nearly as popular today, coming off another bad shooting day. Every opportunity to shoot poorly again here, no doubt about it. But he won't shoot poorly forever, and why not take a chance on him to get going when not a lot of people are going here?
I think this is kind of like DFS 101, something I always love, like a guy that was chalk, that didn't succeed, that's in a similar spot, same price, and now it's just not going to get any love because of the different slate or because people are off and whatever it is. Reminds me a lot of Dennis Smith Jr. from last night, played really, really well, no ownership. Winslow's a guy we've both talked about. We think he's going to be part of this Memphis rotation. He's good. I mean, not crazy to think that he'd be a starter, for this team in the next couple months. He's 3,800. The risk is minimal. There are some chalky value plays we've talked about, but there aren't a ton of guys under 4K I really like. He's a guy I think you can plug in with confidence, regardless of how this game plays out. Like him even more if Dylan Brooks is out. Like the more I think about this play and look at this slate, I'm digging Justice Winslow. Like I liked him last time out. He wasn't very good, but nothing's changed except for his ownership. Price is the same. I'm all about it here. It's a long shot.
You just need him to start shooting better, which it's not crazy that it could be today. This guy was out for a long time. It takes you a little while to get your shooting stroke back. Could be today. Could be tomorrow. I don't know when it's going to be, but that's why we have him labeled under long shot. If he plays well today, and we talked about him for a while, he's a pretty good player. Not a great player or anything like that, but he's capable of doing a few things. He can score. He can get some rebounds. If he's scoring better, the assists might ratchet up. He's fully capable of grabbing a couple of steals in there. He's also available for you at the small forward position. And when all those other guard spots are already sewn up, you got multiple centers you want to get to. If you can pay down at the small forward position, which is not currently one of the spots with the better studs today. Think about all the studs on the slate. If you want to look at Washington, Denver, Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Jamal Murray, Jokic, none of them are a small forward. James Harden, Giannis Antetokounmpo, none of them are a small forward. Julius Randle, De'Aaron Fox, none of them are a small forward. The ability to pay down in a small forward position could be very helpful for your roster construction today.
Yeah, agreed, man. It kind of gets you on a little bit of a different build also with so many people using the guard value. I'm really digging it.
So hopefully he plays well today. No guarantee, but that's why we got these guys listed under long shots. Like if I thought Jamal Murray was a guaranteed, to outscore James Harden, it wouldn't be a long shot type of situation.
Yeah, agreed. And I like the call. I mean, like we talk about, long shots can mean different things on a different day. Murray isn't a long shot in the sense that like we know he's going to play and he's going to get 30 DK points, but most people don't think he's going to get like 50 plus, which it sounds like you think there's a real chance of.
Yeah, he's been awesome lately. It doesn't mean he's awesome again today, but he's in a good spot. He's on a team that needs wins. He is really, really talented. I still think he's one of the more underrated players in the NBA because you don't see it consistently.
We talk about these guys that are really good offensively, Zach LaVine, Booker, Beal. Like he's in that group to me.
Oh, yeah. Jokic is such a high usage guy who does a lot of distributing, gets the whole team involved that he doesn't need to. But Jamal Murray could average 30 in this league if he wanted to, but he just doesn't feel the need to play that way throughout the regular season. That's why in the playoffs, when they run just like more two-man, really basic pick and roll with two very talented players, he drops 30, regularly.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt.
So, all right, guys, thank you. Good luck. We'll talk some drafters later. Go sign up and play. We want to get a bigger player pool. We're drafting like the same 10 to 15 people every day. I want that to be a bigger player pool. It's a good time. You can play however you want on there, but I mean, for us, most importantly, like, you have fun.
Yeah, I have a lot of fun. I'm excited for ours later today.